Hey, greetings Indie Warriors, good to be with you again. Old Gamer Joe here with another review as we look at 360 action platformer Orbital Bullet on Steam. Let's go back to the year 1996 for just a moment. Who remembers a PSX game called Pandemonium? It was sort of a 2.5D platformer with 3D graphics, a little bit different from the sort of platformers we were used to getting up to that point. Even though in terms of gameplay and thematically they are radically different from one another, that was the game I couldn't get out of my head while I was playing Orbital Bullet, and it reminded me a lot of that. Some nice memories there. You're not going to find any happy jesters jumping around the world of Orbital Bullet. No, you're not really going to get much of a story set up at all. You get a very brief cutscene that's told through some nice pixelated art, and then you're just dropped into the action and the roguelite gameplay loop. The game is broken up into procedurally generated planets, and I did say roguelite, so you can expect to visit the same planets over and over again until you've grinded enough and gotten strong enough to finally take down bosses. You might be thinking to yourself, is it gonna feel weird to move around a 360 environment like this? No, it really doesn't. It feels like any other 2D game, to be honest with you. You have a standard jump, a double jump, a dodge roll to get out of the way of enemy attacks, and of course you can fire away at enemies with a variety of different guns. Your main goal is going to be clearing out 360 room after 360 room, defeating all the enemies as quickly as you can, and then progressing upward or to the side or onward, however you progress through the next area, on and on again. Just as you would have guessed, you're going to start out pretty weak, but you're going to pick up some good upgrades along the way. Some of these upgrades will not carry over from run to run. Fear not, however, there is a main upgrade tree at the end of each run that will greet you. You can pump some points into that and get stronger and stronger and make it further and further. After your first couple of runs, you'll also unlock different classes, and these classes can also be leveled up depending on how well you've done on levels and what you've achieved. So if you've taken down certain bosses, you'll get an upgrade point for a class, or if you find a secret, things like that. The game does feature a few different currencies and upgrade points. You'll also come across a shopkeeper from time to time as you progress upward and onward, and you can buy some items that will help you to hopefully stay alive longer. I'm not going to lie to you, and you probably already figured this out based on the fact that this is a roguelite. The struggle is going to be real for quite a few runs here. Eventually you will get some medipacks you can heal yourself with, and that will help to keep you alive a little bit longer, but you are going to be going through what feel like the same areas over and over again, and you're either on board with that or you're just flat out gonna get bored with that. Me personally, about 4 or 5 runs in, I would say, okay, I had my share of this for a good while now, but it is something that I could see myself going back to after a little bit of rest, maybe a day or two, and checking back in with it and trying to make it further, because the upgrade system is pretty cool. You do feel like you're slowly making progress, but at the end of the day, it's still roguelike gameplay. It does help though that the gunplay is pretty fun in those short bursts. I love the feel of this game. I think it's very responsive. I think you do have those cool guns that loop around in a 360 themselves, and that's satisfying. You can also bounce on enemies to deal out damage, so there is a little bit of strategy involved. I do feel like some of these AIs are a bit dumb, but hey, they can still kill you, so I guess they get the job done. One thing I wasn't so much a fan of in Orbital Bullet though is the fact that certain challenges are tied to how quickly you go, and I'm never really a fan of feeling like I'm on a timer. Now, you're not on a timer per se, but you are rewarded for performing combos in succession or moving quickly through certain rifts that you'll come across. I wasn't too big on that because this is a game that I personally preferred to play with a little bit of defense. I would kind of back off of my enemies, keep my distance from them, shoot them down that way instead of rushing in and trying to go quickly. As far as the visuals go, I really quite like the look of Orbital Bullet. Definitely is reminiscent of a 32-bit style, PSX style game. I think it looks really nice. Again, some cool visual effects with this 360. The environments are repetitive just because you do visit the same planets over and over again, but they look pretty nice. This is not hard to go back to like a PSX game would be. It looks nice and smoothed out, but maintains that style. I did find the enemy and boss designs to be a little bit uninspired, not all that well detailed, but they do kind of fit the vibe and the overall visual style that they're going for. And the soundtrack, which sounds a lot like techno club music, is actually pretty fitting for this game too. It goes along well with the carnage that you are unleashing. I had no real issues with the way that this game looked or sounded. It's a cool presentation overall. I'll say that some of the menu designs aren't really that inspired, but overall, a nice looking and sounding title. Well, I will admit I do get a little bit burned out on roguelite games. As much as I enjoy them from time to time, Orbital Bullet does a pretty good job of dealing with that in some ways. It does have that dynamic skill tree that makes it feel like you are making progress and you're getting stronger. Still, you are going to feel the burnout at some point unless you absolutely love this genre and you never burn out on it. The game does feature over 20 different guns, and most of the ones that I came across were really neat. You do have 4 different classes. They can be leveled up as well. There's a lot to like about this game. I wasn't huge on the combo system that they've implemented here. I think it's a little bit cheap on health sometimes, but overall, this is a fun roguelite with a really cool visual style. I like the 360 effect that they've achieved here, and it's a fun game. Definitely worth picking up if you're a fan of roguelites. Thank you so much to our brave indie warriors. May you be protected from the echo chamber with the pixelated blade of glory. I would now like to shout you out for the heavens to hear. Thank you to Bill T, Christian Cruz, Kevalo, Chris Jackson, Adriana Amato, CJR, Julian Colbus, Jesse, CPM, Ray Lynn, Marky Mint, Dave Harp, Peekaboo, Lex Noyle, PSC, Carmine Red, King of the Hatch, Blue Francis 14, and to you, the great indie legends, Jen Rose, Larkison, Mitchell Hall, Eric, Peach, Skepticism, Seacoil, and Nathan Moore. May you forever be protected from the echo chamber. If you would like to join the Indie Warriors, head on down to the description box below. It's time to bring a voice to the voiceless ones in gaming.